Welcome to the October 21st, 2019 meeting of the Gaston County Board of Education. I am Brent Moore, Crowders Mountain Township, and Chairman of the Board. To my left is Mr. Kevin Collier, Vice Chairman of Riverbend Township. At this time, I would like to ask the other members of the board to introduce themselves.
Lee Dedman, Gastonia Township.
Justin Davis, South Point Township.
Terry Reed, Cherryville Township.
Steve Hall, Dallas Township.
Dr. Guthrie, Gastonia Township.
Jeff Ramsey, at-large member.
Dot Cherry, at-large member.
On behalf of the board, I would like to welcome everyone to our meeting this afternoon. Our first order of business is to have the prayer and pledge of allegiance. And I would like to ask Dr. Booker to lead us in invocation and pledge.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Join me, please. Father God, we just praise you. We praise you for the creation that you have given, for the rains that fell this weekend, and for the cooler temperatures. We thank you for protection from those things that we don't even know surround us and that you walk before us. We ask that you continue to watch over us and guide us as we do your work among the community, and that you guide this board as they provide direction in the education of 30,000 children. We just thank you for all that you have done, and we anticipate all that you will do. We thank you for all the folks who each day rise dedicated to making our community better, and that we ask you pour your blessings over them. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Mr. Moore, that was one of the better pledges we've had. Thank you for all the participation we had in the audience.
Our next order of business is to adopt the agenda. You have a proposed agenda before you. And we need to approve. Mr. Collier, second, Ms. Cherry. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? And it is carried. Our next order of business is to hear good news happening in our schools. Superintendent Booker, give us some good news.
We have several great news items tonight. First, I'd like to ask representatives from 3 of our high schools to come forward: Ashbrook High School, Bessemer City High School, and Highland School of Technology. These 3 schools are going to be joined by Mr. Dedman. In our state of North Carolina, the Athletic Association monitors the sportsmanship, and if you have any type of violation during the year, particularly an ejection of a player, you are disqualified from receiving the sportsmanship award. And so tonight before you, these 3 schools had exemplary, outstanding athletic performance last year, and we believe that the Sportsmanship Award is a great symbol of mixing academics and athletics. Mr. Dedman is one who can appreciate how hard it is to receive this award.
This means that your soccer players did not get turned out. That it is really an honor and really difficult in the state of North Carolina or anywhere not to have an injection of some sort during the sport. So, to Ashburn High School, congratulations to you, Dr. Wilson, and thank you, Mr. Nichols. Appreciate it very much. Forshay Blair, our athletic director from the Highland School of Technology, congratulations to you. Mr. Montgomery, congratulations to you. And Dr. Wyatt, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed visiting your school the other day.
Thank you. Enjoy having you.
But thank you so much for all that you did. I'll be right in the middle of that.
Thank you.
Hey.
Speaker, but I stand very good.
Congratulations.
This is an award that never gets old getting to recognize. We tonight get to continue the tradition of Gaston County of having Shrine Bowl representatives. I'd like to ask Ashbrook's Trey Byers and South Point's Ray Rose to come forward. And Mr. Byers, as you come forward, you also are a 3A South Track title athlete as well, correct? And so in addition to that, he ran the 100-meter dash in under 11 seconds. So, and he continues his talent. Mr. Rose is well known for signing, I think, with some school that wears light blue. Is that right, sir? And so, but he is a solid member of the offense with over 75 passes and 25 touchdowns to his credit. The 83rd Shrine Bowl will take place December 21st at Wofford College, and we want to congratulate both of you on bringing this recognition to our county. Ms. Cherry?
Well, like Dr. Booker said, the Shrine Bowl has a very deep tradition, and that is something that y'all will always be able to say that y'all are a part of, and it's extremely special and a very, very high honor. I know you'll represent Gaston County very well. We would love for North Carolina to bring home a win this year. It's been a while, I think. So why don't y'all go do that for us? Congratulations. Can't wait to watch the game and watch y'all beat South Carolina. On behalf of the Board of Education and our chair, Brent Moore, we have a certificate of recognition for you, Ray, and for you, Trey. We hope that you'll keep this and remember us as y'all go on in your careers and we become a thing of the past for y'all. And remember us as we age on out. So congratulations, and we're going to get some pictures. Are your parents here or any loved ones? Well, let's get one of me first.
I don't see any Husk players up here, Doc.
What?
I don't see any Husk players up
Well,
here.
that's all right. I share the love. That's all right.
And one more. All right, now your parents.
Come on, parents. And then we'll let the staff come.
Mr. Ford, Dr. Wilson.
Come on, moms. Daddies. So I have a feeling we're going to see some competition. It's going to be a Wolfie and we've got a Tar Heel. So yeah, yes, that's right.
Yeah, App State's on 21.
Do what?
App State ranked them 21. I tried to beat Carolina.
You can get him back. Just go tackle him.
All right.
Come on, now. Okay.
Yeah, y'all stay.
The more the merrier.
All right.
I don't mind that, do you? Are you smiling? I like smiling.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Real work starts. That's right. Working hard. Thank you. Great job. You work hard and you get up there. That's what it takes. It's a lot of hard work. Keep it up. Good job, Mike. Good job. Working hard. Work's
That's all right. I'll even wear a something. Oh, I can't.
Next, I'd like to ask someone who's not a stranger to this board to come forward, Mr. Chuck Stowe. Mr. Stowe has served in our district for longer than he likes to own up to. Ashbrook, South Point, and now Stuart W. Kramer High School. You all have seen him before for his award-winning productions. Jekyll and Hyde was recognized in 2012, and of course the Bloomy Award for Modern Millie in 2017. But today he stands before us because he is the 2019-2020 North Carolina Theater Arts Educator Teacher of the Year.
Well, as we go through our good news, we go through athletics, CTE, vocational academics, and now we're at fine art. So you can tell we've covered about everything, and we're really special in fine arts. And this is a part of who Chuck is in fine arts. He's excelled greatly. He was president this past year, or this year, as the state of North Carolina representing us. So on behalf of the school board, we'd like to present Chuck Stowe, North Carolina Theater Arts Educator, Teacher of the Year, October 21st, 2019, Gaston County Schools, signed by our chair, Mr. Moore, and our superintendent, Dr. Booker. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Vine, you want to come up?
Supposed to have it all in the building.
That's right.
And one more. All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like I said before,
Members of the board, as Mr. Ramsey just mentioned, we've talked about athletics and arts, but we are fortunate in this district that we get to do a lot of acknowledging of career and technical education. Tonight is a really big award for two of our students, Dylan West and Robert Sanders. If you all could come forward, please. You all know that we do a lot of assessing in this district, and one of the things is end-of-course exams. And for career and technical education, those exams are prepared at the state. Only the thing we do is distribute them and send them back for scoring. Well, this year, thanks to Hendrick Motorsports, they have a competition with NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Chevrolet engine design, and they decided that they would allow, this is a competition that they've had between their dealerships and their NASCAR teams. This year they decided they would allow 16 high school students to participate, and the way that they would select them was the top 16 scores on the Automotive Service 2 end-of-course exam would be recognized and allowed to participate. So 16 awards in the state of North Carolina, 2 of them out of our career and technical education. So we brag a lot about our career and technical education. We always remember that we have great instructors working with our students, and they do the little extras to allow things like this to come. I had the pleasure of meeting Dylan last week and just hearing about his passion as he talked about not only what career and technical education had done, but what East Gaston had done for him. And I'm sure Robert Sanders would say the same thing about North Gaston High School. This is a great recognition for all of our career and technical education and all the work that goes on in our high schools. So, young man, it's glad to have you with us, and I'll turn it over to our two board members.
First, I mean, it's incredible, the athletes we've had here, the performing arts, but don't forget about the people that can fix your car. East Gaston's had a rich history, way back even when I was there, of auto mechanics and state champions. And then the teacher that was there went to North Gaston and kind of started a dynasty over there with mechanics. So these two schools have always been in the forefront in auto mechanics, and to get this recognition is just makes me so proud, both for the board and for this county. So congratulations. We have a certificate to recognize you. Mr. Hall, anything you want to say?
Yeah, this is down my alley. My son is a technician, and he drag races. So you're right now. Do you work on ATV? I have one. I do very well. Robert Sanders, congratulations on behalf of the board, and I'm proud of your outstanding achievement. Signed by our Chairman Moore and our Superintendent Booker. Congratulations.
You can just do a little bit. There you go. All right. Smile. And one more. All right, do you want to bring your parents or administrators up? Teacher, too.
Please don't forget Brent. Mr. Buchanan, we want to see you up there too. Later.
You can come just a little bit, Mr. Hall, forward. Okay. All right. Ms. Reeves. And one more. All right. Thank you.
Your daughter wouldn't let me come in without wanting me. I said, well, good. That's good. That's good. I was messing. She was doing.
Members of the board, the final good news item tonight is actually one to recognize you. The State Board of Education recognizes training by the school board, and all 9 of you completed the required training in demonstrating commitment and excellence towards your service as an elected member of the Board of Education. This is about the 4th year in a row that you all have received this award from the board. And so on behalf of the School Board Association at our regional meeting, I accepted your gold bell plaque along with Ms. Cherry and Ms. McGraw, so that you all have. We just wanted to pause and recognize this is a great example. We talk about professional development and continuing education, and you all are showing that you believe in a lifetime of learning with the development. So we will continue to display this, and thank you for your dedication.
And may we accept this on behalf of Mr.
Yes,
Wilson
absolutely.
as well?
Yes, here, here.
Here, here. She keeps us in line.
All those reminders.
Thank you, Dr. Booker. Our next item on the agenda is allows an opportunity for public expression tonight. We do not have individuals who have asked to be heard, so we'll move on. The next item on the agenda will be the approval, correction of minutes from our past meeting. Tonight, we're asking for the approval of the minutes from the September 16th, 2019 meeting. I need a motion to approve those minutes as presented. Mr. Hall, second. Ms. Cherry, any discussion? All in favor? And it's carried. The next item on our agenda is classroom moment. At each of our meetings, we like to highlight some of the good work going on in our classrooms. Tonight is no exception. National
Principals Month, the proclamation before it.
Okay. I'd like to recognize Mr. Hagans for National Principals Month proclamation. And this is an action item.
We'll get to that great classroom moment in just a moment. Good evening, Chairman Moore, Vice Chairman Collier, members of the board, and Superintendent Booker. October is National Principals Month. The annual observance is sponsored by the National Association of Elementary School Principals and the National Association of Secondary School Principals in partnership with other organizations. This year we have a proclamation to present to you for consideration, and at this time I would like to read the proclamation. It is a proclamation for National Principals Month. Whereas the month of October is designated National Principals Month in recognition of principals, assistant principals, and all school administrators for their role in providing the leadership necessary to ensure an outstanding education for every child. And whereas again this year the theme for the annual observance is Great Schools Have Great Principals, and it is intended to highlight the belief that quality instruction and effective leadership go hand in hand toward having a great school. And whereas principals, assistant principals, and other administrators are among the hardest working, yet often least recognized professionals in education, as they are responsible for establishing high academic expectations, managing the day-to-day operations, and working to make the school campus a place for excellent teaching and learning in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas we are very proud of our school administrators and we sincerely appreciate their dedication to promote the value of public school education and to inspire success and a lifetime of learning. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Education is pleased to join other boards of education across the United States in proclaiming October 2019 as National Principals Month and encourages the citizens of Gaston County to join in the celebration by thanking all school administrators for their tireless efforts in pursuit of excellence in education. Be it further resolved that this proclamation be made a part of the minutes the Board of Education adopted the 21st day of October 2019. And Mr. Chairman, this proclamation is before you for consideration, and following the board's approval, we have several principals and assistant principals with us this afternoon to accept the proclamation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the proclamation of National Principals Month just read to us by Mr. Hagans.
I'll second.
Mrs. Guthrie, first. Mr. Collier, second. Mrs. Guthrie. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? And it's unanimous.
And Mr. Chairman, we do have a framed copy of the proclamation for you to present. At this time, I would like to introduce and ask for the following to come forward. We have Laura Dixon. She is from W.A. Best Elementary School, and she is our current Gaston County Principal of the Year. Dan Barber from Pleasant Ridge Elementary School, who is our current Gaston County Assistant Principal of the Year. We also have Lorinda Brucey, the principal of Kaiser Elementary School. Ms. Brucey is the chairperson this year of the principal's leadership team. And we also have Dion Kennedy, the assistant principal at Woodhill Elementary, who is also representing the principal's leadership team. And I have the proclamation, if you'll come down and present it.
Great job, Mr. I missed you on Mrs. Elevation. That's a great little
Ms. Guthrie?
Mr. Chair, I don't want this moment to pass without, again, saying to the principals how much we appreciate you. You work within your school hours. You work outside of your school hours. You even work on Saturdays. I saw that this past Saturday. We know that there are children that come to you each and every day. Sometimes they come with all the tools. Sometimes they come without the tools. But you're always there. You're ready to let them know that that school is a very special place for them to be. We know that you have a life outside of school, but within the school, you're everything that a child needs. And we want you to know, again, how much we appreciate what you do, how you do it, and when you do it, because all of the other students that came up for the Arts Award, for the sports, all of the awards, they had to fall within your leadership. And we thank you for that each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. All right, now we're going to move on to the classroom. At each of our meetings, we like to highlight some of the good work going on in our classrooms. Tonight is no exception. And our first presenter will be Dr. Jackson.
Good evening, Chairman Moore, members of the board, Superintendent Booker. Thank you for allowing us to come before you tonight to talk about our implementation of our K-1 phonics. One of the things that I'm most excited about with the new phonics program that we are implementing is over the last few years, we've spent a lot of time partnering with the New York Teachers College in implementing our writing and reading units of study published and authored by Lucy Calkins. One of the things she's finally done is now she has written phonics units of study. So now we truly have an integration of writing, reading, and phonics to help our students become better readers. So Dr. Jill Payne will lead us through the presentation. She has a teacher from Hawks Nest, and we also have staff members from Springfield and Gardner Park.
Good afternoon. I am excited to be able to share with you information about our Lucy Calkins Phonics curriculum, which is being implemented in all of our kindergarten and first grade classrooms this year. Tonight we have some of our teachers and our students, and I'd like to introduce them for just a second. I have Ms. Froelich, Ms. Grant, Ms. Presnell, Ms. Summerlin, Ms. Rutherford, and Ms. Jennings here to help us, but we also have some of our very favorites, which is our students, and I want to take a minute, and if boys and girls, if you'll wave when I call your name. You ready? I have Jackson and Camden, Anderson, Avery, Kira, Gabby, Maddie, Jules, and Sawyer. And so they're going to help us out in just a few minutes. We are so fortunate that our district has been able to provide all kindergarten and first grade teachers with the Lucy Calkins phonics curriculum resource this school year. The decision came about to provide support and consistency with our reading foundational standards. Teachers have been requesting that we have a sequential, systematic, research-based phonics program that supports our reading and our writing. And I am super excited that I had the opportunity this past summer to go to the Teachers College, to the Reading Institute there. And while I was there, I was able to learn a lot in detail about the phonics program and how it is a systematic program that supports the foundational reading skills for our kindergarten through second grade students. and I'm supposed to switch that for y'all. One important component of a curriculum resource is that it is aligned to the North Carolina Standard Course of Study, and also that it has a strong research base. In working with this program, we can say that the standard alignment is strong, and the program does include instructional best practices, which is supported by decades of research. While at the Teachers College, I learned about many of the great researchers that Lucy Calkins collaborated with as her team developed the units of study. Some of these researchers include Tim Rosinski, Patricia Cunningham, Fontes and Pinnell, and Wiley Blevins. The magnitude of research and knowledge that work together to create these units helps confirm that we are providing standard-aligned, systematic, research-based instructional strategies when we use this program in our classrooms. So we want to thank you for the opportunity to do that.
The goal of phonics instruction is to support kids' progress as readers and writers. As Lucy Calkins herself says, our goal is not for our kids to become linguistic scholars, able to pontificate about the 6-syllable types or the 8 sounds that an O can make. Instead, phonics instruction only matters because it enables students to become strong readers and writers. For example, during a phonics unit on short vowels, the children will still spend time doing sorting work like any traditional phonics program. But the great thing about Lucy Calkins Phonics is that students have time for application, which is where the real transfer occurs throughout their entire day. You will notice in the kindergarten video of a phonics mini lesson, students are learning to stretch out words so they can hear each sound. And they're beginning to represent each sound with a letter. Listen carefully to the application that takes place later in the day during the students' individual writing conferences.
There's volume here or not.
Yeah.
Looks like it's as high as it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the slide?
Yes. She said it gets louder on the next two.
Okay.
And I think mine's really loud.
Sorry.
In the next lesson, you will see the launch of a phonics lesson where students are introduced to the idea that they can read a book to learn phonics. While reading a page from their interactive read aloud, Those Darn Squirrels, students were working in partnerships to read and find words that fit into their spelling patterns. You will also see the transfer that occurs during the reading conferences that take place later in the day during their independent reading time.
In reading workshop, we've been talking about how second grade readers grow like these dogs, and how you can choose how to read a book. Well, today, I want to teach you that you can decide to read books to learn about life. So, here's how in interactive read aloud, we can read this book. Say it with me. So we've been reading this book to learn about the characters and to study how they react to progress. And today in phonics, we're going to use this same book, and we're going to choose how we read this book in phonics. We're going to learn phonics. But does it have a long vowel sound? I think this group. What about this one? What about this one? So does it have the long vowel sound? Yes, it does. Now we go in our exceptions, right? Because it's not a sneaky E. It's not a vowel E, but it still says E. It's a long vowel. You've all got some great ones that you found in our book.
Because I-U-H is I.
That's an exception to what we talked about earlier today, is that sometimes that long vowel sound doesn't follow that sneaky E pattern or the vowel tune, but you knew that I-G-H makes that long I. Excellent. Can you read that one?
This is my you read the I. This is my.
As you just saw, phonics instruction is taught and applied all throughout a student's day. This systematic program will help build continuity from K to 2, helping grow all Gaston County students as strong readers and writers.
One important part of our job as teachers is to ensure the instruction we provide is flexible enough to support all members of our classroom community. The phonics workshop environment is designed to provide learners with a mix of choice and high expectations that provide the flexibility, responsive teaching, and rigor that each learner needs. Every lesson includes a time in which students work with partnerships and rug clubs. This is the time adaptations to lessons can be made to personalize the content in order to provide each learner the exact practice that they need. On the screen, we pulled out a section of a lesson that addresses the work students do during rug clubs. This is where personalization of lessons happen. Each lesson has suggestions called possible coaching moves. This information is helpful because it helps me think about ways I can customize the content in the lessons to provide learning across for all. As I prepared this specific lesson that I taught last week, I read the possible coaching moves with my students in mind. Then I hand-selected the picture cards each group would receive to ensure that they would be working on appropriate sounds based on where they were with that particular learning progression. Children benefit most from phonics work that is engaging. Unlike worksheets, this phonics curriculum involves multi-sensory activities like singing, pretending, inventing, talking, using props, writing, and spelling. Now I introduce to you to share some of their favorites, our Gaston County students.
Hi, meet Mabel. Mabel helps us with our sight words and our sound words and stretches out words and what? Write and read. Hi everyone, this is Gus.
Gus helps us with, Gus is new to this school, and last year when he was in school, he didn't know his phonics yet, so he came here.
What we teach him is reading, writing, and phonics. Hi, this is Rashi. He's teaching us how to be work detectives. Something strange. I read a book. What can I do? Look closely. We can start to end. What can I do? Look closely. I ain't afraid no word.
So, Dr. Booker, you kicked this school year off by challenging us to tell our stories. So I'd like to end tonight by sharing a special story. In kindergarten, we start by learning everybody's names. This also helps us to learn the letters and the sounds. We get to know each other. We get to build relationships through the Lucy Calkins name study. Students are able to make personal connections and identify the letters in their names. They take ownership of their names. As a way of engaging the families in our name study, the students have personalized their story with the study of their own name. At the beginning of the year, each child was given a picture frame with directions on how to submit a picture and a few words about the child's name. So I want to share with you a little bit about Mabel's name story. Just happen to have her story here in the frame. So this is how I would read it to the children. This is Mabel, and she was named by her family at the Teachers College at Columbia University in New York City, where she was born. Her mother, Lucy, chose her name because it means lovable, and that fits her sweet personality perfectly. The name Mabel was also picked because it begins with the letter M, and it is the first letter that the kindergartners learn at the school. Mabel has 5 letters and 2 syllables. Mabel loves her name just because it was chosen for her. So over the past 7 weeks, or now it's really about 9 weeks, some wonderful stories have been submitted about each child's name. Some stories have included the meaning of the child's name, and some about how the parents have come up with that child's name. The children are so excited to not only learn about their name, but also to learn about the names of their classmates. Our names are special, and they're a part of our story. So I want to share just a small snippet of our name stories here on the next slide.
So this is a picture of Cordelia. Cordelia, how old were you in this picture? Probably about 4. All right, so let me read it. Down this side, it has her name, Cordelia. And then here is her last name. This is her last name, Salawak. That is her last name. Hi, I'm Cordelia. Stand over here so make sure you see. My name comes from the letters in my mommy's name and the letters in my daddy's name. My mommy's name is Terry, and my daddy's name is Rodelia. So, her mommy took the name Terry. Here, let me put it right here. Her mommy took the name Terry and took the name Rodelio and bumped them together and came up with the name Cordelia. She's a special girl.
And then I have his whole sisters.
All right. Cordelia is a star. Cordelia's name starts with a C. C, with a here and here and everywhere. Cordelia is a star.
Thank you.
Mrs. Guthrie?
But since you called on me, I'm ready. Engagement. I love. And boys and girls, I ain't afraid of no words. I really like that. That was awesome. And you're combining Lucy Calkins with Pontus and Pennell, and you're starting them off in kindergarten. We are so proud. This is phenomenal. We won't need to worry about whether or not little Johnny can read later on. You're laying the foundation right now for little Johnny, and you're keeping them engaged. Hey, I like Mabel, I like Gus, and I miss the last name. Rashid. I like all 3 because those prompts motivated those children and kept them attentive. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you.
Now, Ms. Guthrie, I will add one that you forgot.
What?
Did you hear them describe the teacher prep and the amount of work our teachers do to be prepared to do what you just talked about? That was what was impressive to me when she talked about the lessons and how she prepares beforehand to greet the students.
Preparation is important. And I can tell that you love doing it. And our children love participating. They were holding on to their little prompts. Let's give the boys and girls another round of applause. That was very good. Thank you.
Why you look at me like that? All I've got to say is when they're having fun, they love it. Times have changed for the better. So, great job, all of y'all. All of y'all. All the principals, all the teachers. And y'all like having fun, right? Right? Good job. Good job.
We want to shake their hands, may we?
Would y'all come shake our hands?
Oh, we have to go down to them? Let's see if they can reach.
Here we go. Good job. Good job. Good job, sweetheart. Proud of you. Good job. Good job. We're proud of you. Good job. You did a good job. You know that. What did you do with your bubble gum? Hey, you know what? I know your grandmother. You did it. Y'all tricked me. Y'all tricked me. No, you was
Oh, I'm sorry, I got in front of you. He got the candy first.
Y'all want some
Come right here, Sam.
Everybody, all the teachers. Everybody looks sweet, big smile. Always has an answer.
Okay, thank you, David.
I'll send this to you, you can send it to the parents.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, moving. The next item. Yeah. All right. The next item on our agenda is a report from the Operations Committee. The Operations Committee is made up of Mr. Lee Dedman, who is the chairman of that committee, Mr. Jeff Ramsey, Mr. Steve Hall, Mr. Kevin Collier, and Mr. Hall is bringing us the report.
We met October the 7th at 4 o'clock. Sonia McGraw, our attorney, shared a draft of the School Justice Partnership Agreement. This document acknowledges that Gaston County Schools and local law enforcement will continue to do all they can to keep the kids safe in school, students. Bill Farnsworth gave an update on the middle school. Everything's going basically on schedule. The electricians and plumbers are working on site still, and the building's scheduled to be roofed, totally dry by late October. Stanley Middle School's on track. The grass plants all have been done. Dr. Morgan Huchard, our Executive Director of Auxiliary Services, shared with us an update on all the capital projects, the current bond projects. Updates can be found on Gaston County School website. Dr. Huchard also updated us, and I didn't even know about it, but the proposal for Stinger Park to be built in Bessemer City, which is a great opportunity for schools and Bessemer City, that will eventually be joined. I think they got ball fields and all in this project. Michael Nance, our safety officer, gave us an update on 2 employee complaints to OSHA and what has been done to address them. Gary Hoskins, our chief financial officer, informed us that Gaston County Fire Marshal is now conducting fire inspections at the schools. 2 of the most common concerns throughout the district were materials being stored in boiler rooms, which I'm well aware of at the college, and with fire extinguishers, alarms. Our new fire alarm company is currently in the process of doing inspections at our facilities and had already started prior to the fire marshal's inspections. Gary also shared that it is time once again to renew the contract that the Board of Education engaged in putting advertising on white buses 2009. The revenue funding has helped us with purchasing the new white buses. Our Director of Facilities, Chip Irby, provided information on a pilot program that will be utilized by schools in Cherville to have one company that will maintain the landscaping. This will be contracted out. This is sort of a test site, would you say, at the Bessemer City. Dr. Huchard reported on the progress the district has made with the energy management conservation. I'm tired, I tell you guys, I'm wore out today. But program, and I think, didn't he showed savings up to this day that it's actually working, which is great. And Joey Clinton, Human Resources Director, gave us an update on current employee vacancies. And due to the current average daily membership, some schools were given additional allotments. Therefore, there are several vacant positions on our website. Open enrollment for employees' benefits will be held November the 2nd through the 19th. The Human Resources Department will be attending at least 4 recruiting events in upcoming months. Also, the Operations Committee wanted to recommend that the board approve the following expenditures over $100,000. School Business Systems Modernization Project Manager, Tryon Elementary Sand Filter Bed Renovations. I'm thinking this is the filtration system for the water there.
Yes, sir.
And also the School Nutrition Freezer, Life Safety Projects for Holbrook Middle, Pinewood Elementary, North Gaston High Tennis Court renovations, Chromebook replacement. These items will appear later on the consent agenda for the board. And there was only one change order for the roof replacement at Southwest Middle. And the next meeting is going to be at
Belmont Middle on November the 4th at 1 o'clock.
And the construction trailer.
The work site.
Yeah. At the new school. And
All of you are invited if you choose to come. We're just going to meet over there.
And that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. The next item on the agenda is the report from the Curriculum and Instruction Committee. The members of that committee are Mr. Terry Usry, Ms. Dot Cherry, and Mr. Justin Davis, and also Ms. Dot Guthrie, who is the chairman of that committee. And I believe Ms. Cherry is bringing us that report.
She is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Moore. Our meeting was called to order at 12:01 on October the 7th. Ms. Guthrie approved changing the order of our agenda. We approved the minutes and with no corrections for our meeting on September the 9th. Ms. McGraw was at our meeting as well to review the School Justice Partnership Agreement and present it to the committee as an information item. Staff shared updates on student promotion and accountability policy 3420. Updates have been drafted for section 1, repeating a course for credit. A draft of this updated policy has been placed on the consent agenda for tonight. An update from School Counselors Department provided information on plans to update websites at all schools by January of 2020. An application for Innovative Partnership Grant, or IPG, will be submitted in November for the Warlick Academy. The potential grant award is $1.5 million over a 4-year period. Community Residential Funds is a partnership with the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, or DPI. Gaston County Schools partners with Holy Angels. Last year, $230,000 was received and sent to Holy Angels. This item has also been placed on the consent agenda. Academic Services will continue working with Curriculum Associates to provide professional development with a focus on middle school math. This item is also going to be on our consent agenda tonight. Staff noted a few reminders about newly proposed Cooperative Innovative High School. The application was submitted on September 13, 2019. Final notification of approval will be February 2020. The Gaston Early College of Medical Sciences will be located at the Gaston College Kimball campus in Belmont. Being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 1:33 p.m. Our next meeting will be November 4th at 12 noon at TRC in Cramerton. And that's our report.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry.
Yes. Oh, it isn't. Oh, wait, excuse me. I was thinking Raider Center. Excuse me. It's the TRC in Gastonia. Sorry.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is school improvement plans for low-performing schools, and this is an information item. And Mrs. Powers.
Good evening, Chairman Moore, Vice Chairman Collier, members of the board, and Superintendent Guthrie. Tonight I will be sharing information with you about the low-performing schools process for the 2019-20 school year. In September, the State Board of Education released the low-performing schools for the 2019-20 school year. Low-performing schools are identified as schools that receive a performance grade of a D or F and have school growth scores of met or not met expected growth. For the 2018-19 school year, out of 55 schools, Gaston County had only 11 schools that did not meet growth. As a low-performing school, schools are required to submit a school improvement plan using the NC STAR platform. Out of the 125 indicators in the system, these schools are required to focus on 12 key indicators. The 4 indicators that all of our schools are focusing on this school year are part of the 12 key indicators that our low-performing schools will be focused on. The executive directors and the accountability department have been working with all low-performing schools on writing their plans and getting them ready for you to review. In 2014-15, the state of North Carolina began identifying low-performing schools. In the first year of identification, Gaston County Schools had 13 schools identified as low-performing. In 2019-20 school year, we had 11 low-performing schools. Our low-performing schools are listed here. The state of North Carolina has a timeline that they provide to us for each step of the low-performing school improvement plan process. On September 13th, we met with the principals of the identified schools. The principals then notified parents of the school's low-performing status and began creating their plans with the support of their executive directors and the accountability department. Now that the plans have been created, the local Board of Education is given time to review the plans and provide any feedback. 30 days after the plans are reviewed, the local board will vote on the approval of the plans. This vote will occur at our November 18th meeting. After the plans are approved by the local Board of Education, the district has 5 days to submit these plans to the state through the NC STAR platform. Tonight, we have provided these plans for you to review. That is all I have. Chairman Moore.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. Oh, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. There are several items on the consent agenda tonight. Please take a look at those items listed. And Do I hear a motion to approve those items on the consent agenda? Mr. Ramsey, second. Mr. Davis? Any questions, discussion? All in favor? And it's unanimous. That brings us to the time in our meeting to hear from our superintendent. Dr. Booker, do you have any comments?
Mr. Moore and members of the board, and both of your reports, you did an excellent job of going over the consent agenda. There are two items on there that really didn't get covered in either one of the reports I wanted to highlight. Ms. McGraw has been working with Judge Greenlee, and we are adopting the School Justice Partnership Agreement. This is a statewide movement, and it's taken a lot of work. Probably a year ago, Ms. McGraw, we attended a meeting where several school districts and county agencies attended, and they have been working since then. So I appreciate your support of that, and it just really solidifies what we were already doing and just put some document to it. But that was on the consent agenda. And also, we were in our regional board meeting, they approached Ms. Cherry about serving on the North Carolina School Board Association Board of Directors, and so you have approved the official nomination of her, and we look forward to that confirmation occurring and her serving on the state boards. We appreciate her willingness to do that. I know several of you have remarked recently, and I see Angela's out with us tonight, so I just wanted to recognize Angela Calmia, who runs all of our school nutrition and does a great job, and we just appreciate what you are doing. And she's joined there on that road by 3 of our NCAE reps. We work with the NCAE each month to go over concerns and try and work as a team on things rather than seeing as an adversarial relationship, and we appreciate what they do. And each night we see out that we look and we see folks, we have all of our executive directors here supporting. You saw Dr. Slutsky just came up and tried to help with the technology, and all these folks are supporting. But I want to make sure that you see that, you know, between Dr. Jackson, Ms. Starnes, and Dr. Bostic, that's your academic team supporting and working with Dr. Balknight, and then Ms. McLean, Dr. Huchard are out there, and Ms. Powers just presented. And also tonight you have a guest, and Beth Suber is with us because Mr. Clinton is at the PAC meeting and will be returning tomorrow. So I wanted to thank all of them, because a lot of times we do a lot of work and you do these consent agendas. Those are the folks that make it all happen every day and work with our schools. And so if you just take a moment and thank them as we're going through our day. Thank you. This month is 2 big things going on, and there are numerous things. I was asking Ms. Guthrie before the meeting started, you know, what is today? Because there seems like there's been a national this or a national that. And so we recognized our administrators. Also, it is the National Bullying Prevention Month. And in conjunction with that, we've started our Stand Up Gaston assemblies. These assemblies focus on character education, kindness, responsibility, and making good decisions. And they're all part of our Golden Opportunity Program. This year, former NFL player Steve Grant is the featured speaker, and he will be doing assembly programs throughout our district over the next several weeks. Those are focused at our high schools and middle schools. Additionally, this month is the Go Month for the Gaston Outside campaign as part of the Greater Gaston Economic Development Commission, and we have played several roles in that. Dr. Balknight and I attended an event last week at TechWorks in Belmont, where the Dream Center had some of our middle school students there, but New Hope Elementary was featured for Girls in Coding program that goes on after school. And the governor was in town to talk with some leaders in Gaston County, but they highlighted those 2 groups. And so it was a great opportunity for the governor to start talking about, I think schools should be doing more of that. And we would say, we're doing that. I think schools should be doing more of this. We're doing that. And so a lot of good things are going on in our community. It was good to see Governor Cooper and his support for what we're trying to accomplish, particularly in technology areas. Then, as also part of this past week, Go was focused on the business and community leadership. Hunter Huss, Highland, and East Gaston each hosted business leader groups for hour and a half. They did a presentation about what's going on in their schools with career and technical education, and then toured them throughout the school so that they could see that is to support the education and workforce part of the Go Month. Also, we sent a group of students to Belmont Abbey to learn more about college planning and that process. So a lot of things are going on in the community. And as Ms. Guthrie talked about Saturday, she saw some of our principals out. We had a great family engagement seminar that was sponsored by our Title I department. And this, we partnered with Tabernacle Baptist. They opened their doors up and supported us there. Ms. Guthrie was there. Dr. Jackson was there. And the theme was building partnerships for student success. We also had Principal L, who is a national speaker there, to talk with parents and just allow them to know more about what is going on in our Title I, and we hope to have more seminars like that to engage the community and help them. And looking ahead, we have more going on. November 2nd, if you enjoy marching bands, we have an annual marching band fanfare, and this year it will be on November 2nd at Stuart W. Kramer High School. It will start around 3 o'clock, and it will feature all of our high school marching bands, and they'll show their halftime performances from the football games, the ones they have worked so hard on. And this is just an opportunity to come out and thank those folks who do so much to support us. The art awards we get come through a lot of great hard work. Also, October 29th, we will have a Parent Advisory Council meeting. We invite the public to join us there, where we'll update on our district plans, the new strategic plan, our results, and just talking about what's going forward. So there are a lot of things that are going on in the district, and I just appreciate having the opportunity to go out today, visiting Stuart Kramer, where our countywide choral ensemble was practicing. These children started yesterday afternoon and were practicing throughout today, and their performance tonight at 7:30, just to see the talents that are in our community. And I just thank the community for sharing their students with us. And with that, sir, I'll conclude my comments. I will ask that we need a closed session for several items.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Booker. And I need a motion to go into closed session.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, paragraph A2 for awards, and North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A6 for personnel, and North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, paragraph A3 for consultation with attorney, in order to consult with the board's attorney to protect the attorney-client privilege and to receive advice with respect to the lawsuit captioned 19-CVS-319 Solomon et al. Versus Gaston County Board of Education et al. And all other legal matters et al.
You got a first, Ms. Cherry, second. Any discussion? All in favor? And we're in closed session. Thank you all for your time and attention tonight. We look forward to our next regular meeting, which will be November the 18th. And I believe that's all we have for tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Mr. Devon, is second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Cherry. All in favor? And we're adjourned.